What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's live Q&A. And if you saw from the title, it's completely different than what I usually do. In today's live Q&A, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about some productivity hacks and some health hacks that have completely changed my life and that I've personally used to significantly grow my wealth, significantly grow my income, and just improve my overall lifestyle. So let's wait until some people get in here. In this Q&A, basically, just go ahead and ask me anything to do with health, productivity, entrepreneurship, what's stopping you from achieving success, what's stopping you from achieving the freedom lifestyle. And maybe about in 15 minutes, I'm going to get into the health hacks and productivity hacks. I actually created a whole list. By the way, I'm in my hotel room right now in Barcelona, which is why it's dark. And right now I'm staying here one night with my girlfriend, and I'm flying to the US tomorrow. So that's why, because I'm actually moving back to North America. So that explains this whole situation. So I've been traveling. So I apologize if it kind of looks weird that it's like in the dark, but this is the best setup that I can do and the best lighting that I can get. So so later in this video, I'm going to cover all the productivity and health hacks that I prepared for you guys. And they go from, how to improve your sleep, hack your sleep, because sleep is incredibly important. And I really neglected sleep before. I didn't really think, it was super important at all. And also, let me see from my list here. Talking about micro and macronutrients, the best diet for success, how to also maintain a good physique as well, the gym. So anything like that, that's very, very important. Like if you want to go, you want to start making money, you want to become a millionaire, you want to, get out of the situation that you're in, you want to drastically change your life, you want to become a successful entrepreneur. These are the things that this whole thing starts with. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's see here. Who do we have here? We got Dean, Robert. What's up? Yesterday I had the first live Q&A where I actually talked microphone to microphone. Like I talked with my students. And now we're doing it every 2 weeks. So bi-weekly for 2 hours. Anybody who joins Econ Freedom or Shopify Freedom, which links for are below, which are my Amazon FBA and Shopify courses for dropshipping, they get to talk to me for 2 hours every 2 weeks. So you get 2 hours of live mentorship with me as well. So yeah, let's see here. Let's open up the chat. Yeah, so go ahead and ask some questions. Let's keep it to health, mindset, entrepreneurship, just general things that go around, fitness, stuff like that. Not to do with Amazon, not to do with Shopify. Let's keep that to the other lives. Next weekend, we got the live that we're going to do. Let me check the schedule. Next weekend is going to be how to build a worldwide Amazon FBA $1 million brand. And then the week after that is going to be dropshipping live Q&A on how to stop listening to terrible dropshipping advice and the truth about what most YouTubers don't talk about with dropshipping. So that's the schedule. That's what it looks like. Yo, live Q&A yesterday was killer. Thanks, man. Yeah, so Ron was actually part of the live Q&A that we had yesterday in Econ Freedom and Shopify Freedom. So thanks for being there. I hope to see you in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So all right, can I help you sell CBD on Amazon? No. Which supplements do you take? Great question. So basically, okay, so there's two types of supplements, right? There's two types of nutrition. There's there's macronutrients and micronutrients, and you want to make sure that both are right in your body. So let's talk about this for a second. This is like super, super important. If you think that this does not, help you in any way improve your life or increase your income, trust me, it's not by chance that I became a millionaire in 2 years, a year and a half. I already had the kind of the mindset from before because I'd already been going to the gym for 4 years. I'd already been treating my health seriously. And so all I did was I took that mindset and I applied it to entrepreneurship. And so the gym is just one thing though, right? And in the past few years, I got into so many other things like sleep. I got a health coach and fitness coach. So, and I've learned a lot about like blue light, all this kind of stuff like heavy metal poisoning and everything like that. So I'm willing to share all of that with you guys today because I know that it's going to help you a lot. So let's talk about, supplements, right? So the supplements that I take, the most important supplements that you should take are in the morning and in the evening before sleep. So in the morning, you should take, I'll just tell you what I take. So when I wake up in the morning, I take vitamin D. So this is like in the winter, and if I'm living in a cold place that doesn't get much sun, then I take vitamin D. Entrepreneurs have the highest incidence of vitamin D deficiency, and if you're deficient in vitamin D, you will just overall feel like shit all the time, and your productivity is going to be really bad. So vitamin D is very, very important. You want to take at least, I would say, 3,000 to 5,000 IUs per day. Um, as a supplementation. In the summer, you can reduce that, but you still want to take it because you're not always outside unless you have like some outdoor job. And also, I take Athletic Greens, which is it's like a green powder, and it's got a bunch of like mushrooms and stuff in there, and it tastes okay. It's not the best, but I just go when I wake up in the morning. I go downstairs after I brush my teeth, and then I drink 2 big glasses of water, and the second glass of water includes the 1 scoop of Athletic Greens. And so I mix it up in there, and then I have the water. It's very important to hydrate in the morning, or else you're just gonna because that sets up the rest of your day, right? And also gets your digestive system moving. So the morning, and then if we're gonna talk about the evening, eat before sleep is incredibly, incredibly important. The supplements that you want to take before sleep, if you want to really have really good sleep. And by the way, also, like, if you don't know yet, if you're not aware of the fact that like sleep controls your entire life, if you cut down on your hours of sleep, your income will suffer, everything will suffer, because the most common misconception is you can just sacrifice sleep hours for productivity, which is not true, right? There's like been tons of studies that have shown, and it's logical, working through the late hours of the night and then sacrificing sleep to wake up in the morning is like one of the worst things, if not the worst thing you can do to really boost your productivity. So before sleep, to make sure that, and let's talk about like the different levels of sleep here. So there's deep sleep, and then there's REM sleep, and then there's light sleep, right? So most people, they have really shitty sleep, and there's so many different things that can affect that. And even if you're sleeping for 8 hours or 10 hours a night or 9 hours a night, you might be getting no deep sleep, no REM sleep, which means you're gonna wake up feeling like shit in the morning. So to make sure that your deep sleep and your REM sleep are like really great, and I apologize, I'm gonna drink some water. To make sure that your deep sleep and your REM sleep are really great, you need to take magnesium before bed, and you want to take between, I would say, what do I take? Between 600 and 800 milligrams before I sleep. So magnesium, incredibly important. If you don't take magnesium, your sleep will suffer, and it relaxes your muscles and your overall body, and it takes like 20 minutes to kick in. You also want to take before bed. You want to take about like, I would say, an hour before, 30 minutes to an hour before. You want to take like a room temperature shower. As that like helps you to calm down. Not a cold shower, not an extremely hot shower, just a room temperature shower. And also zinc. You want to take zinc before bed as well. So magnesium, zinc, and 1 vitamin B. So just any vitamin B that has B12, B6, and all the other stuff. You want to take 1 vitamin B. And so that's very, very important. And also 1 tablespoon of honey before bed. And all of these things I started implementing. And I actually wear an Oura ring. My Oura ring right now is in the US. I'm going to get it in a few days. I kind of left it in my truck there. And right now I'm in Barcelona. So I'm in Europe. I'm traveling. But yeah, so the Oura ring, it actually tracks your sleep. It's like a ring you put on your finger, and it tracks your sleep. And so I realized that my sleep before was absolutely atrocious. And when I, like, based on deep sleep and REM sleep, and then I realized that like every time I would wake up, I would just want to keep sleeping. And I'm sure you're probably experiencing that right now. You want to keep sleeping, a lot of the times when you wake up, and now when I wake up, I'm just like ready to, to kill the day because I've implemented these things. So after I started taking 1 tablespoon of honey before bed, magnesium, zinc, vitamin B, and what else did I mention? The hot shower, or not the hot shower, but the room temperature shower. My deep sleep was like 20 to 25% of the night. My REM sleep was 20 to 25%. So it was perfect. And my, everything like significantly improved. So that's in terms of micronutrients. They're very, very important. Now macronutrients, that's like your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. It depends on the diet that you want to do. But if you don't go to the gym right now, you don't need a lot of carbs, right? If you don't work out, first of all, you should work out at least 3 times a week. Get on like Kino Body has a really good, it's called Greek God Warrior Program. And I'm on that right now. It's the most optimal. I used to work out 5 days a week, 4 days a week. You don't need that. If you go to the gym, like a person that goes to the gym 3 times a week, but absolutely is focused, puts his phone on flight mode, and is focused throughout the entire workout, they'll have a Greek God physique, while someone who goes to the gym 6 days a week and spends hours there can look like a bum, So like, that's why 3 times a week is more than enough, 4 times if you want. But Kino Body, the Greek God physique, that's the one that I'm on. It's really, really great. And I love it because it's 3 times a week, and I have a lot of time to, do cardio on the rest days. I just do some cardio, like HIIT training. But yeah, so I was saying about diet, like if you don't work out, you don't need to eat a lot of carbs. Like carbs will make you lethargic. They'll make you really like just you don't want to do any work. So instead, you want to go on a high fat, high protein diet. So by fat, I mean like eating like, meats that have fat in them, so like steaks, fish that has fat in it, like cheese. Cheese is obviously a big one. Nuts. So anything with like high fat and then also high protein, and keep your carbs low. Nutrition timing, as opposed to what you'll find online, is actually very, very important. If you wake up in the morning and you just eat a huge carb heavy breakfast, you're going to be tired like an hour within, right after that, if you don't use those carbs, and your body will go and transfer those carbs into fat. So that's why high fat, high protein diet, that's what I do, especially on my rest days. When I'm, training at the gym, I go higher carb on those days. So I'll eat like, maybe some potatoes, rice, whatever, bread. But on the other days, I don't do that. So that's my macronutrients and micronutrients. It's very, very important. Let's see here. Oh, also, someone mentioned room temperature for sleep. So a huge, and I can't believe I almost missed this, but a huge, I guess, determinant of your sleep quality is the room temperature that you sleep in. If your room temperature, and I'm going to say it in Celsius, if your room temperature is above, I would say 22 degrees Celsius, it's terrible for your sleep. It's really, really bad. And I've had to sleep in like 28 degree temperatures a few nights in the past few weeks, and it's been really bad. Like I wake up feeling like shit, and there's nothing you can do. And you have to find your optimal sleeping temperature. But for me, I would say it's 18 to 20 degrees. So put on your AC, and if you're lucky enough to have AC, there's a lot of places in the world that don't have AC. Put on your AC and set that thing to like between, I would say, 16 and 20. 16 is cold, but that way your body will get more into like a deep sleep state. You're gonna have a lot more deep sleep. So what else do we have here? So I think I covered like sleep. I covered diet. Also intermittent fasting. So that's something that I've kind of implemented sometimes. I'm not a huge advocate of intermittent fasting. I think that it's, it can work, but my health coach has been trying to get me to start doing intermittent fasting. And what that is basically you have like an eating window. So let's say, 8 hours where you can, like between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. you eat, and the rest of the time you don't eat. And obviously between 10 and 6 a.m. you eat the same that you would have eaten, otherwise, but you just kind of condense it. And that way you allow your body to use those, fat stores while you're not in that eating window, you see? And also as an entrepreneur, eating wastes a lot of time. One of the biggest time wasters as an entrepreneur is preparing meals. Huge productivity hack is getting meals delivered to you or hiring a private chef. Now that's kind of hard, especially like me. I've been traveling, so I had a chef for a while, but I kept traveling and whatever. So as soon as like I'm like, in my new place and everything's all good, wherever that's going to be, Arizona or Canada, I'm going to for sure make sure that like I have the meal situation is all like, done, because cooking and stuff wastes a lot of time, and it's time that you could be spending on doing things that are, improving your business and increasing your income, instead of wasting it on just preparing food. You're not a professional chef. You're not getting into the restaurant business. Unless you are, then you can spend time cooking. But how many hours sleep do you get each night? The optimal amount that I get is about 8.5 hours. So 8 hours to 9 hours. So let's see. Pumpkin seeds. I haven't heard about that. Also a huge thing. And now this sounds like super weird, but did you know that 80% of people in the United States, and I guess in the Western world, have intestinal parasites? And look it up. It's really gross. Intestinal parasites. So like basically what it is, it's like worms in your stomach. I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't actually, like, if you have them, first of all, you probably have some kind of a parasite because we're humans, right? So like, sometimes you drink water from, somewhere and it's not that clean, or, you eat some food and it's undercooked or whatever. So that's how they get in, and then they multiply. But the thing is that parasites, they like, if you actually look into it, you don't actually notice. You're not supposed to notice that they're there unless you try to start killing them. And so what I did, and sometimes, and I would just do this like 1 week at a time to make sure that my intestinal health is like all good, because they really affect you. They'll cause weight gain, weight loss. They'll make you feel like shit. They'll cause skin problems like acne. I know like that parasites will actually cause like acne, and like I know I've seen cases online where people have gotten rid of their acne because they did like a parasite cleanse. And so the best way to do a parasite cleanse, is what I've done, is you take when you wake up in the morning, remember I said you do like a cup of water. So you do two tall glasses of water. One of them is athletic greens. So instead of the athletic greens, when you're doing a Parasite Cleanse, you can do a 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and then 1 tablespoon of honey in lukewarm water. And I know it sounds disgusting, and trust me, you're gonna have to get used to the taste, but it's huge. And you know, if you start seeing stuff coming out when like you're going to the toilet, dude, you have parasites, and like, you know, that's the thing. So you do that for like a week, for 2 weeks, however long you want to do it. You'll see that the first few days will suck. You'll feel really bad because it's called a parasite die-off. If you do have parasites, that's when you'll actually start feeling bad because the parasites are dying. And then after that, you'll get rid of them, and then you'll see your life will be completely changed. So I know it sounds gross, but trust me, if you don't think that you have parasites, you probably do. Like, you know, 80%, look at the statistics, 80%, you know, in the medieval times, like 95% of people had parasites because everything was, no one, you know, washed their hands, nothing like that. So yeah, I know it's gross, but it's true. And go look at like Alex Becker. If you watch his channel, he talked about intestinal parasites. That's what made me like really look into it. And he's a very successful entrepreneur as well on YouTube. So let's see. How many hours did you work in a day when you first started your Amazon business? I don't know, like probably a few hours every day. You know, there's a difference between doing a lot of work and doing focused work, right? So, yeah, like, I mean, I just do work when I need to do work, when I know I need to do work. Right now I'm in Barcelona tonight. I'm doing this live, but, you know, tonight I like went out with my girlfriend and like, you know, had dinner and we walked around the city. So it's not like I'm always working, right? Well, and if you're in a 9 to 5, you're working for most of your life. Right? So as an entrepreneur, you get to control that, but yeah, it's just up to you. I mean, any time management tips on how to run a business and practice mental and physical health at the same time? That's an amazing question. So let's get into the time management. So you always want to plan tomorrow today, and how that works is you get a notebook and you write down first, like this is what you do before you go to sleep. So you write down all the tasks that you need to do tomorrow. So, you know, you would know like what you need to do, like let's say release a video, find a product, work on your product, whatever it is, right? And you write down the tasks, and this is what I do. And then after I write down each task that I need to do, my brain is like cleared, I go and I mark the priorities. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, based on like what's the highest priority. You always want to do the most important tasks first every single day. The ones that will contribute the most to your business, the most to your income. So after I prioritize them, I go and so this is on the right side of the page. On the left side of the page, I go and then I basically like plan tomorrow today. So I write down the times, you know, from like, let's say 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., you know, wake up plus eat breakfast plus morning routine, whatever. 9 a.m., you know, start working on task number 1 to you know, 10:30 a.m. And you always want to include buffer times too. So like 15-minute buffer times, 30-minute buffer times, which, you know, between tasks. So if you're going to set like 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., you're, you know, let's say doing product research, you want to make sure that 12:30 to 12:45 is buffer zone, because you never know. We always have stuff popping up throughout the day. And if you start running late on your schedule, the rest of all your tasks are going to get screwed up. That's why buffer zones help. And you always want to have one buffer zone between each major task. So plan tomorrow today. Like, I know, unfortunately, most people, when you tell them, they're not going to follow any of this, but if you follow this, your life will completely change. Trust me, this is what you need to do. If you want success in your life, this is what you need to do. Like, this is what I've learned. I didn't make this up. I learned this from people who are making much more money than you and me combined. So, you know, it's not just coming out of like nowhere. And Robert, if you eat McDonald's a lot, you probably have parasites. So, would you say it's a bad idea to get into U.S. market now on Amazon? No, it's an amazing idea. You just need to find a good angle. You just need to find a good product and find a way to brand it well. All these questions that people are asking, is a bad idea, is a good idea? When I was just starting out on Amazon, actually, or like with online business, there's always everybody, you know, there's always there's always 2 groups of people. The people that were actually taking action and they were, you know, making their dreams come true. They were like actually, you know, finding products to sell online. And then there were the people who are constantly just, you know, worrying about bullshit. They were just like, oh, is it too competitive? Is it this? Is it that? You know, and, you know, 3 years later, 2 years later, they're still broke, you know? So that's just human nature. Not everybody can succeed, right? Tips on waking up early. By the way, biggest question, do you have to wake up early to succeed? You don't have to wake up early. But I definitely recommend, like my schedule is this. I used to wake up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., go to sleep at 9. But if you want to have any kind of a, realistic life, it's going to involve you going to sleep at like 11 p.m. sometimes, right? And so that's why I changed my schedule to going to sleep at 11 and waking up at between 7 and 8 naturally. No alarm clocks. Alarm clocks ruin your sleep because they wake you up in the middle of a sleep cycle. So you don't have to wake up early. Just make sure that you go to sleep every single night at the same time. So if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to sleep at 11 and wake up at 7 to 8, then do that. Even on weekends, every day. Most people screw up their lives and their productivity completely because from Monday to Friday, they go to sleep, kind of late. They wake up super early for work for the 9 to 5. Saturday and Sunday, they don't sleep, or they go to sleep at 4 a.m., wake up at 12. And so they're constantly in this like haze. They're constantly in like this, your body has something called the circadian rhythm. And if you mess it up, it's like the natural rhythm of your sleep. If you mess it up, it's going to, really, really damage your productivity, your health, everything. So, yeah. Someone said, are you familiar with Mark Wahlberg 4 a.m. Club? He was posting a while back his day schedule workout routines. Folks were mocking him for it. No, to be honest, I don't know. The funniest part? This live has 50 people watching, and then my my other like super clickbait, how to build $1 million business with Amazon or Shopify, they get like 100 people on the live. But people don't understand that health and productivity, like what I'm saying in this live right now, applies to every single business, applies to everything. This is the most important thing. Money is just like comes after you get these things right. It's just a byproduct, right? Yeah, for those people who want to do the Parasite Cleanse, you wake up in the morning, you fill up, first you grab a glass without any water. You put in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 1 tablespoon of honey. And then you fill it up with lukewarm water, not like a tiny bit or it's going to damage your gums or something like that. Not your gums, your teeth, I think, because it's acidic. So yeah, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of honey. You put that in a glass, and then you put lukewarm water into it, room temperature, and then you drink it. And you do that for like a week, 2 weeks. And if you see stuff coming out, in the toilet, then that's bad. That means you have parasites and you're getting rid of them. So I guess it's good. If you don't see anything, well, that's great. Now you know for sure, and that's not, now you ruled that possibility out, the fact that, you don't have intestinal parasites, which, by the way, I bet 80% of the people in here have them. If you look at a statistic, you'll see many, many people have this. And it causes teeth grinding, causes all these symptoms, constant hunger, right? Because obviously if you have like worms living in your stomach, it's really gross. Do you take probiotics? No, I don't take probiotics. But I think there's probiotics in athletic greens, which is the green powder that I take. I've also tried green vibrance, and that one is okay, but it's like it tastes really bad because it doesn't have any artificial sweetener. But I guess it's healthier for you because it doesn't have the sweetener, but who knows? So yeah, one more thing I want to talk about is drinking. If you are constantly drinking or you drink every weekend, that's a no-brainer. Like you have to eliminate drinking, not entirely, but in moderation. So like tonight I was at dinner and I had sangria, one red wine, whatever it is, right, mixed with fruits. So that's not a big deal. But if I had like 3 of them and I had them 3 times a week, or I had beers like every night, then obviously your productivity is completely ruined, and your health is obviously, at that point you're an alcoholic. Most people are actually who go out every weekend, they deny that they're alcoholics, but they're alcoholics. So yeah, if you want to succeed, I highly recommend you stop drinking. My entire life changed when I stopped completely, doing any of that. So yeah, I mean, it's not that I stopped completely, it's that I do it in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. What do you do to stay productive during downtime? Amazon has a lot of upfront work, but there's also downtime. I'm waiting on a supplier's response, waiting for inventory to come in, etc. So, yeah, of course, like during the downtime, when you are like, so let's say you set up your listing on Amazon and you are waiting for your product to come in. What I recommend you do is, many people, they get into this trap of like trying to find another product to sell. Huge mistake. You want to be single-minded. You want to be focused on the first product, making the first product a success. So in that case, I recommend reading success books, reading biographies, reading entrepreneurship books, getting your mind into the right zone so that you can succeed. That's the best way to go about that. And that way you're not wasting your time and you're not always working. It's as important to train your mind as it is to actually do work on your business. So I take time like every day. Like today, I was on the plane for 4 hours and I was reading, and I read, I think, almost half of a book. I was reading The Outsiders by William Thorndike, about 8 unconventional CEOs. So let's see here. What are your thoughts on smoking weed? Ooh, very, very good question. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, everybody, this is my personal opinion, you can disagree, but basically, if you want to actually, always, like, I want to be sharp, right? So I always want to be sharp. And if I'm going down the highway and let's say there's another guy going down the highway and, we're competing against each other, if the other guy is smoking weed, and I'm sober, I'm not like under the influence of any drug, I'm going to go way faster down the highway than that person. That person is, have you ever tried driving when you're high like this? You're always like worried and you're always like looking at, behind your back, and you can't go faster than like 50 or 60 miles an hour. So there's a reason for that. It impairs your brain, and it causes brain damage if you take it before the age of 25. And that's a proven fact, like permanent, irreversible brain damage. So don't believe everything that you're told. So the only drug that I recommend for improving your performance is caffeine in moderation. So coffee, 2 a day, 3 a day, that's good. Do you recommend launching several products at a time if you have the finances to do so? No, because you can't go for the final boss at the very beginning. We talked about this in my live Q&A yesterday in the Econ Freedom course. I actually talked about this with a student. We had like 100 people on the live, and it was a good debate. Like, and he was telling me, yeah, you can't go like for the final boss, because someone was asking me about he was going to ask his friend for like 100,000 or something in investment money. And I told him, hey, you can't go for the final boss. You can't go for the final boss at the very beginning. You have to go in baby steps, right? First, when you go play, I don't know, Legend of Zelda or whatever it is level 1, level 2, Super Mario, it's level 1, level 2. It's not straight for the final boss, unbeatable level. So I have an existing LLC, but we'll be making a Shopify store with a different brand name. Can you use the old LLC bank account? Yes, of course. It doesn't. Your LLC doesn't matter. You can literally have unlimited businesses with your LLC. So, notification. Someone asking me to send a notification to my email list when the live is going to start. That's a great idea. I'm going to do that in the future. I find zinc, vitamin D, omega-3 a great combo. Drink water only and eat healthy. That's all you need. I go to bed at 3 to 4 in the morning and wake up at 11 to 12. Productivity is great. I mean, if that's good. As long as you keep a routine schedule every single day. Omega-3 is huge. Take one capsule of fish oil before bed. I do that, and there's like millions of health benefits to that. So yeah, so I guess that's it. Those are all the things that I wanted to cover in this live today. The best hacks, insane productivity and health that I've learned. I mean, there's probably a lot more from the top of my head, but make sure that you take care of your diet. Make sure you take care of your gut health. Check if you have parasites. Do the apple cider vinegar and honey cleanse. So again, in the morning, it's a glass of lukewarm water, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Do that for a week or 2 weeks, and you'll feel like shit for the first 3 days. But after that, you'll feel really great. Go to sleep at the same time every day. Wake up at the same time every day. No alarm clock. Just wake up naturally. Limit your drinking significantly, and take micronutrients, so like vitamins, zinc, magnesium, vitamin B before bed, very important. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This is a little bit different to what I usually do, but this is one of the most valuable videos that I've ever made on this channel. So if you are a person, there's going to be, out of all of you watching, there's going to be one person who's actually going to take everything that I said, they're going to implement it, and watch, they're going to be at $1 million a year, $2 million a year in a year, or 2 years. It can even faster. It can be possible today, right? So this is what it comes from. It comes from lifestyle and your habits. It doesn't just pop up from the sky. So hope you enjoy this one. I'll see you soon. I got a flight to catch in like 12 hours.